My name is Ethan Miller, and for years, I believed I had to succeed before my mother could truly be proud of me. My younger sister, Sarah, always seemed to be everything Mom wanted. She graduated with honors, had a good corporate job, and lived in a beautiful apartment. I was different. I drove an old Honda, worked a regular office job, and spent my nights building software for small businesses from my tiny apartment. I believed in my idea. My mother didn't. At a family dinner, Sarah proudly talked about her latest promotion. Mom smiled at her. "I'm so proud of you, sweetheart." Then she looked at me. "So, Ethan, how is that little business of yours?" I knew exactly what she meant by little. "It's growing," I answered. "I just got 2 new clients." 2. She looked at Dad, then back at me. "Ethan, you're almost 30. You need a real plan." "I have a plan." "No," she said. "You're chasing a dream that may never work." The table became silent. Then she said the words that stayed with me for years. "You're failing." I couldn't answer. I quietly left the house and sat inside my old Honda. Tears filled my eyes. But that night, something changed. I didn't promise to prove my mother wrong. I promised to prove myself right. I stopped telling Mom about my business. I stopped asking for her approval. Then things got worse. A major client suddenly canceled a contract, costing me months of work. That night, I stared at my bank account and wondered if Mom had been right after all. Maybe I was wasting my life. Then Dad called. "Your mother told me what happened," he said. "I'll be okay." "I know you will," Dad replied. "But don't let someone else's fear become your truth." His words gave me enough strength to try again. I faced rejection after rejection. One investor said my idea was too small. Another said I didn't have enough experience. Then an old manager named James reached out. After hearing about my business, he told me something I'll never forget. "Ethan, stop waiting for people to tell you that you're good enough." He introduced me to a small business owner who needed software like mine. It wasn't a huge contract, but I treated it like it was the biggest opportunity of my life. For 6 weeks, I worked almost non-stop. When the client finally tested the software, he smiled. "This is exactly what we needed." That one sentence changed everything. 1 client became 3. 3 became 7. Then 20. My little business wasn't little anymore. 3 years passed. I still drove my old car. I still lived simply. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was simply building the life I believed in. Then one morning, I received an email. My company had been chosen for a major business award. I stared at the screen. Then I thought about my mother. I decided to invite my parents. I didn't know what she would say, but I was ready for her to see the truth. The award ceremony was held in a large hotel ballroom. When my parents arrived, Mom looked around the room. Then she saw my company's name displayed on a giant screen. Her expression changed. A few minutes later, the host stepped onto the stage. "Tonight, We're honoring a young entrepreneur whose software now helps hundreds of small businesses." Then he said my name. "Please welcome Ethan Miller." I walked onto the stage. The audience applauded. I looked toward my parents. Mom was staring at me. I took the microphone. "I didn't build this company to become rich," I said. "I built it because I believed my idea could help people." I talked about the late nights, the failures, the rejection, and the people who believed in me. Then I said something I had carried inside for years. The hardest part of failure isn't losing money. It's believing that you are a failure. I looked toward my mother. Sometimes someone you love can look at your life and decide you're not enough. But they only see one part of your story. The room became completely quiet. Your worth isn't decided by your salary, your car, your bank account, or anyone else's opinion. It's decided by the courage to keep going. The audience stood and applauded. After the ceremony, Mom walked toward me. She was crying. "Ethan," she whispered. I waited. I was wrong. Those words should have made me happy. Instead, they made me sad. "I know," I said. She lowered her eyes. "I thought I was pushing you to become successful." "You didn't push me, Mom. You made me believe I wasn't good enough." Tears rolled down her face. "I never wanted to hurt you." "I know." For the first time, I realized my mother hadn't hated me. She had simply been afraid. She believed success had only one shape. A secure job. A big salary. A comfortable life. She couldn't understand that my dream looked different. "Can I hug you?" she asked. I nodded. She hugged me tightly. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. I closed my eyes. Those were the words I had wanted to hear since I was a child. But something inside me had changed. I no longer needed them. "Thank you, Mom," I said softly. "But I learned to be proud of myself before you were." She pulled away and nodded through her tears. "I understand." Our relationship didn't become perfect overnight. There were still painful memories. There were still conversations we needed to have. But Mom stopped trying to change me. She finally started trying to understand me. A few weeks later, I visited my parents' house. In my old bedroom, I found a notebook filled with my first business ideas. Mom had kept it. "You saved this?" I asked. She smiled. "I always knew you were different. I just didn't understand you." I smiled. "Now you do." She hugged me. And for the first time, there was no comparison between me and Sarah. No disappointment. No pressure. Just love. As I drove home that evening, I thought about the younger version of myself sitting alone in that old Honda, believing he wasn't enough. I wished I could tell him one thing. You are not a failure. You're still becoming. Sometimes the people we love won't understand our dreams. That doesn't mean our dreams are wrong. My mother once called me a failure. Years later, she finally saw who I had become. But my greatest achievement wasn't the company. It wasn't the award. It wasn't the money. It was learning that I never had to become someone else to deserve love. I only had to become the person I was meant to be.